Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, Executive Editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with another in our series of interesting overtures, gateways to a world of new musical experience that you might not have encountered before. And today I'm talking about the overture to Einar Englund's suite of incidental music, The Great Wall of China. Oh, this is more fun than anyone has any right to have. If you don't know Englund, we've talked about him before. I have. He was, well, let's see what his dates are. His dates are 1916 or 1918, I can't even tell what this is, to 1999. He was a wonderful composer, one of the really great Finnish 20th century symphonists. His style began in any case, somewhat akin to that of Shostakovich. He wrote 7 symphonies and evolved his own personal idiom. During the 1960s, he stopped composing almost entirely because his style was not academic serial nonsense, and he felt that it wasn't going to get any attention, and it was really very sad. But he started picking up again at the end of the 70s, the beginning of the 80s. I thought his music was marvelous, and actually, one of the things that sort of got him going again was apparently, from what I've been told, a review that I wrote in Fanfare magazine back then, praising his first and second symphonies that got him some recognition. It was one of the best things I ever did as a critic, frankly. And he began composing again, and he wrote until the end of his life. And I'm not taking any credit for that, folks. I mean, he was doing it anyway. But I'm just saying that, he began to get recognized, and it gave him encouragement, which I just think is such an important thing for a creator of real ability, like Englund was. So The Great Wall of China is a suite of incidental music. It's quite parodistic. It has a delicious little 2.5-minute opening overture in faux Asian style. And I just love it. I mean, I'm a big fan of cultural appropriation anyway, of all sorts. Anything you can grab, you should grab. But I love it when composers adapt sort of musical exoticism, faux musical exoticism, because he wasn't trying to be serious about it. He knew he was just winging it. And the opening of Nielsen's Aladdin Suite, which somehow sounds like Danish Chinese or Danish exotic or Danish Persian, whatever it is, And this is really fake Chinese, wonderfully fake Chinese. It's a parody, like I said, but the other movements are wonderful. You get the masquerade in a Chinese garden, the Inquisition, a rumba, which you've got to have in a piece that takes place in China, the Green Table Tango, a march a la Shostakovich, which is just hilarious, the Jazz Intermezzo, and the finale, which is a polonaise of all things. It's just great. And the performance here, let's see, it's on Ondine. Here's the Ondine with the Tampere Philharmonic Orchestra under Eri Klas. It's amazing. And like I said, the overture is only 2.5 minutes long, and it's just fantastic. Here is the interesting overture to Einar Englund's Great Wall of China Suite. Now, if that doesn't just make you want to rush out and get the whole thing, maybe this will. The disc also comes with his fourth and fifth symphonies, which are masterpieces. The fourth is for strings and percussion. It's subtitled The Nostalgic, and it has a movement in it called Tempus Fugit. Time flies, where the orchestra makes all of these interesting little clock sounds and things. Oh, it's so much fun. It's amazing. And the Fifth Symphony is a masterful single movement organism, somewhat in the style of Sibelius' Seventh. I mean, it doesn't sound anything like Sibelius, but it's a very organic single movement symphony. It's quite powerful and absolutely marvelous. And you're going to want this. I've talked about this disc before, as I've said, but can't hurt. Can't hurt to give it another plug, especially for the interesting overture to the Great Wall of China. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks so much for joining me. Take care.